Here we see the magnificent creature known as Skull in its natural habitat, the Purgatory. Let us see where his journey goes.
And here we see the raw power of the non-communicating art. It is nonsensical, non-verbal. It's almost like you are missing a translation.
Look at those crabs. Bro, that's crazy. It even throws a boomerang. What the fuck? That's some crazy shit.
Sometimes I am in this weird position. I finish a game, but I feel like there isn't much to talk about. At the same time, I want to talk about the games I finished. Most of the time, I send out emails to the developers of the game and I wait a bit. Meanwhile, other games take my attention, other videos take priority, and I just simply forget about those games. Today, I want to bring to your attention 2 games that I find neat and 1 game that could use some heavy improvements. First game on the list is Mandagon. It's basically a platformer without challenges where you have to find keys to open gates that also function as teleporters. You play as a skeleton head and you can only jump. There isn't much to the game. It's straightforward as a game can be. If you know what you're doing, you will probably reach the end of the game in 10 minutes. So what is special about this game? Throughout the map, you will find totems and every totem will tell you a little story, or a little snippet of a story. If you string them together, you will get the story of the game. A totem's glow provides escape. When all is lit, a door will gape. The seeds you sow, the hearts you reap, can only flower from your sleep. Light and dark alone can last. Through thirsty shadow a sun must cast. Sputter cough and blood of breath. Sickness scuttles inside a chest. A child fragile with bones of clay, a father's soul proposed a trade. Rib for rib and lung for lung, an ever trade, old for young. As you leave so unperturbated, eyelids flutter, your daughters steer. You sacrifice a selfless plight, to catch your breath is why you fight. And in your passing, a weight is lifted, with nothing cured, but only shifted. A slice from you, so close to heart, vanquished ills will soon depart. A daughter's sleep, a wish to wake, a door of light, her place to take. No need to linger, little totem, heed the words we all have spoken. A never-ending, folding ocean, death unknown, a child's devotion. Of endless new and timeless old, we must let go of the things we hold. As blanket sheet, find your rest. The life you sire is truly blessed. And with that, we'll leave the game alone. If you wish to play the game, go for it. But besides the story you string together yourself, there isn't much to do here. Everything looks amazing. The sounds of the totems can get a little bit annoying, but that's basically it. Apparently the devs are also working on a sequel to the game, but they have not been communicating correctly, so don't quote me on that. The next game is Missing Translation. Missing Translation is a puzzle game, plain and simple. You play as a man or a woman that gets sucked into a different dimension. The machine that transported you there breaks and you have to repair it. You go to the place where the pieces are which you need to repair the machine and solve 25 puzzles of one specific style. Those can be very easy, but if you are me, they can be very, very fucking hard. After you finish all the puzzles and get all the pieces, you activate the machine and go back home, where you discover that it was all a dream. Or was it? Anyways, I'm not sure if there's more to the game that I couldn't see. There are extra buildings that you can enter, but it didn't seem like there was a meta puzzle there where you uncover more truths about the game. At the end, the game just left me with the feeling of having accomplished something, but at the same time I felt a little bit empty, which is kind of funny and fits the title. I can't really properly express my feelings towards the game, and at the same time the game is called Missing Translation. I find that funny. If you want to try this one out, you have to really like puzzle games, otherwise it's going to be a chore. Lastly, we have a very weird game called Adventures on the Polluted Island, which I will be referring as API from now on. API is an adventure game where you play as a crab. At the beginning and at the end of every level, you have this comic intermission that shows a pro and epilogue of the story. So the story starts with Krabby playing with their friends. They for some reason kill a seagull, a helicopter flies by and drops a bunch of toxic waste on the island. Krabby's friend for some reason walks into the toxic waste, and finally the game starts. You might be asking yourself why I highlighted this, and frankly speaking, I don't fucking know. I just found it interesting that one has nothing to do with the other. Anyways, once you start exploring the area, you will find missions to do. The first mission will be probably to rebuild your hut. For that, you need 4 leaves. To get those 4 leaves, you have to help other crabs out. You have to find 2 crab babies for a crabby mama, you have to find some stones for Robert the crab, and you have to help a brother out who lost their shell. From all 3 missions, the one that fucked me up the most was the one which I had to find the shell. A regular person would think that maybe one of the shells that they can find lying around on the beach would be the shell that you need to give to your bro Rudy, right? Yeah, that's not what you have to do. The thing you have to deliver to Rudy is a coconut. The thing that was introduced specifically as a healing item. Can you see the problem here? I hope you can. So after you finish all this stuff and you get back, build a hut, it turns out your bro has turned into a mutated crab and they want to kill you. You bitch slap your bro a few times until they collapse, and you get logs that you need to rebuild a raft and leave the island. Why are you leaving the island? I don't know. One thing you might notice really quickly, that you can only carry 1 log at a time. Of course, the smart crab that you are, you just simply throw the logs forwards and pick up the next one. Continue walking forward and continue throwing the logs. The thing is, I don't know if this was intended or not, or if I'm breaking the game. It definitely looks fucking weird. Anyways, after moving to the next island, you have more tasks to do. There's nothing that stands out here, but the end boss kind of sucks. At the beginning of the fight, you can't hit the boss because he's protected by a bone fence. How do you get rid of the bone fence? You just constantly throw bones at it until it breaks. The problem is, there is no feedback that the fence is actually breaking. I don't even know how I found out that you have to break the fence. Anyways, after that, you just kick the boss's ass, he's not a challenge, and move on to the next island. Here you have to do the same thing as the previous island, but if you don't know where things are, you might think that the game is broken. Anyways, after finding the 4 artifacts and opening the door to a sacred temple, you release the Shadow. You fight the Shadow. And you literally can't die because there's a health regen station, also known as a campfire, inside the boss arena. Yeah. After defeating the final boss, you are then sequel baited. Honestly, there are many more things wrong with this game, but I don't want to go into all of them. I'm going to compare a little bit though. While Mandagon is hardly a platformer, it has wonderful art and a hidden story that you have to pay attention to understand. And while Missing Translation is basically 3 puzzles stretched out to 75 puzzles, the puzzles themselves increase in difficulty and the game lives up to its name. RP is a full-fledged game with a beginning, middle, and end. It has its own mechanics, an upgrade system, different enemies that behave the exact same, characters you can meet and talk to, puzzles, missions, and bosses. It's the most game, however I want to define that, of those 3. It has all the right ideas in the right places, and yet I could for the love of Melitelli not recommend the game. From the weird decision to make your crab walk frustratingly slow to some really clunky boss design, everything seems wrong. But I can definitely see a game with the same setting done well. Crabs are an interesting creature. They can burrow themselves into sand, which you could translate to a cool game mechanic where you have to burrow yourself to dodge attacks. You could introduce a survival element in the game where you have to keep your crab fed and rested. Crabs can also jump, so why not introduce some light platforming? Honestly, there's a lot of room to grow here, especially because the world is already introduced to toxic waste and mutation. It opens a world of endless bosses you can design and endless mutations you can create. Good. Now that we had a look at all 3 games, what is the final conclusion? I want to see all 3 ideas explored more. Mandagon would definitely benefit from introducing more puzzles or even challenging platforming. Missing Translation should go deeper into its exploration of dreams. And RP needs 10 times more polish and an overhaul in basically everything. One thing that they all need is decent menus. Yeah, you thought you could escape me, the menu connoisseur? Yeah, they all fucking suck on a technical level. Keep the design and everything else the player needs for their customization desires on the PC. Fucking hell, it's not that difficult, okay? Just add the thing in. Wow, that was short. Normally the menu obsession goes on for 5 minutes or longer, so I'm sorry for that. Good. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, like the video, comment down below if you have other interesting games like these ones. Take care of yourselves and have a nice and wonderful day.